second to check to make sure we're good, and then we'll basically officially start.
Okay.
It was all like, wow, you're rude to me, you paid the price. Bring it. Oh, no, go.
Da, 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 da.
I mean, I don't love.
Alright, so... Alright, we're live, guys. Welcome to the BLTN podcast. I'm your host, Warfare. We're here with, obviously, co-host McDilly. This week we got Moob back, we got Zombified Falcon, and then we have Fluffy Wolf. Last week we took the week off, not much to really talk about, so we decided to skip a week, and we're just going to start fresh this time. So we got a few topics this week, which I actually need to fix because it's all fucked up on the bottom. Bring Snake to the cast. Fuck you, Snake, dude. Like, what are you going to talk about? There's nothing you're going to talk about, and you know it. You give me a great reason, and I'll bring you on. Give me a solid reason. Snake wants to come on. If he gives me a solid reason, I'll bring him on.
Cool.
It's not even changing it. What the hell?
I want to be comfy when I'm at home.
There we go. Alright, so we're going to start with the whole wipe and everything, right? We're going to talk about that, how it affected the server, with changing of the 90 cap now. I think 90 caps on both servers, right? Is that what it is? Do you know...
Yeah, it's 90 on server 1 and 2.
90 on server 1 and 2. So, I mean, it's a big impact with the server. I think a lot of people were interested in getting server 1 back, or server 3 back, I apologize. I know I was interested in it too, because right now it's like a gang fuck of multiple gangs being on. Just, the two servers, and it's kind of a clusterfuck, and I think it really... it makes things hard for people that are like a small group now. Like, POTP isn't a big gang anymore. It's a few of us that just play, and it makes things a little bit more rough because of that. But I think generally with them increasing player slots, it might even out a little bit more, and it should be cool. Do you guys want them to bring back server 3, or you wanted to just stick with like as many people on server 1 and 2 as possible?
I think they should definitely bring back server 3. Because I mean, that's the idea of it originally was server 1 and 2, server 3 is gonna be down for so they could stress test with both servers for a while.
Correct. Yeah, you want to see how it impacted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the server 3 guys, like Bourbon, I know they're server 3 native gang. Like they probably want to go back to their own thing, right? So I imagine it'll probably be for the best. But I mean, I don't know.
To my knowledge, Bourbon is officially staying on server 1. Snake can confirm that because he's so eager to say something. They bought houses on server 1 to my knowledge, and I'm pretty sure they're just gonna forever just stay on it. I don't know if that's the best plan. I think the problem with Bourbon was before is they were just running shit on server 3, and there was no real competition. Now, they wanted to switch, I'm thinking, to actually get some shit going on, so it works for them. They fight Tree now, and I don't know what other gangs are on server 1, but I think that was their whole reason for switching.
Yeah, I think if they increase both server slots to 90 slots, that's 50 extra players compared to the 75 originally. They might not need to bring back a server 3, to be honest, if that's the case. And I wouldn't mind that because I like it to be a little bit more congested during the day. And yeah, I know they're fighting Tree on server 1 as well. I think Crook came over to server 2.
Correct. Yeah,
But,
I think they were trying to have a truce with MC. I don't know how that went out.
No, it did not happen to them. It did not happen to them. They allied with KI, I think. So now it's MC versus KI and Crook, and still not working out for them. But
yeah, like I said, it's harder for smaller people to actually do runs now. My whole mentality is if I had the biggest gang, right? Like, I understand when people want to rob because they think it's a lot more fun than doing runs. But with the beginning days, I think the main thing I want to focus on as a big gang was running the cartels and just doing as many runs as possible to make as much cash. Like, I think robbing people obviously would make you money, but at the end of the day, I feel like if you set up a really good system with doing drugs and whatever it may be, you'd make a lot more money that way than wasting time robbing people.
That's actually something that I want to touch on tonight as well, is is how the Warzone affects it. Like people were worried about people kept bringing up, and it keeps being brought up. Oh my God, it's too hard for solo players and small gangs. Blah blah blah. Like, all right, seriously, like today was like such a great example of why it's actually better off now. KI went, for instance, this on server 2, this is an example. KI and Crook started trying to take some of the war zones or some of the cartels in the war zone in server 2. So all of MC went over there, and there wasn't a bunch of us on, there was like 5 of us on, but we all went over there and started fighting. And so I want to say for about an hour and a half, we're over there fighting, and the other gangs are also there, KI and Crook. So during this time, all the solo players or the small groups of people, they have all that time to do drug runs and shit. Like, it actually takes a load off of them, because if there wasn't the war zone, we would be looking for people to rob.
Just all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I don't know. Like it's gonna depend. Like if you're in the bigger gang, you're obviously gonna have more fun going around and robbing people because you know you're obviously you have the advantage that way. Or if you're the smaller person, you might be more interested in making money and stuff like that. Like me personally, like I get fucking just destroyed every single time I play because I only play with like either myself or like 2 other people. And it got to the point where I just don't want to play Civ anymore because of it. Like what's the point of me making money on Civ if you know I'm just not having fun with it? So I'm gonna try out Cop and give that a go and see how that plays out. Falcon, have you been having problems doing runs too? Because I mean, I think you're in the same boat as me. You know, where PLTP's kind of done with, and we're pretty much fucked over in that front.
Yeah, there's been like a couple times where like you haven't been on, but it's been like me, Pappy, and B. Like and it's gotten to the point where people like it's not just the standard like big gangs capping the red zones and like all the drug dealers and everything. Like me and Pappy, we were on the other night, and we pulled up to the cement trader, and like it was like 2 or 3 guys came out and just robbed us straight there at the cement trader, and it's like they already like nerfed legal stuff to the point where it's not even worth doing anymore. But now it's like you're gonna rob people at a legal trader. It's like you're either robbing nobodies or you're just being a pain in the ass. So it's kind of that's how I feel from it.
Yeah, I think everyone just feels that they can just rob people now to make their money faster instead of having to actually do the work involved to make the money. Because obviously, because they nerfed everything so much that now it's like, do you want to put the time in to do the runs? But honestly, making money isn't hard. Moonshine was doing a lot of good shit for me. When I was running it before day 2, maybe day 1, I don't remember which one it was. I would run it with the Orca, and it was like 200k every run, and it was like a 20-minute thing. It was really quick, nice and easy. Now it's like, fuck, if I even try to do Moonshine, I'm just screwed over on it. So I don't know. It's gonna be different, but there's a lot of good aspects with the wipe that did happen, though. I mean, I think more people play now. I think someone posted a graph showing like how many players have been playing compared to before, and it's almost double compared to how fast it fills up and how long the servers stay full. So that's good. Snake, you bring up a point saying paychecks are OP, but I don't think they are. They nerfed them a lot. I think I was getting like $20 or $2,000 for tier 4 donator, and that's not really shit. Before it was like I think almost 6,000. So that got nerfed a lot, and it affects gameplay a lot more too. But there's a lot of good things that came with it. I don't know. Like I like the map that's being changed. It looks a lot better now. Some things don't make sense. Like, have you guys looked at Copper at all? Like, have you seen how fucked up Copper is?
No.
So Copper is the mine and the processor are both in Sofia. If you want to actually sell the copper, you have to travel all the way over to Kavala and actually sell it over there. Like, so it's like I think it's like 17 clicks or something you have to go, and it's just ridiculous. Have you been playing Cop, McDilly?
Yes, I haven't had a whole lot of time because my job's been working me pretty hard, but yeah, I have played a little bit of Cop. I plan to play quite a bit more this weekend, but yeah, it's been interesting. Had a guy combat out log on us today, sent that skeleton to jail. Mr. Move did that actually.
Has it been unplayable for you though? Because Big Bad Am's saying Cop's unplayable right now.
He says it's unplayable because the same reason Virus does, because they don't make enough money on it.
Isn't there a bug though, like where someone, if they scroll wheel your gun, you lose it? Like, isn't that a thing?
Yeah, that's a problem that exists as well. Yeah, if someone scroll wheels your gun, you lose your gun. They don't get it, but you do lose it. I haven't had this happen to me. I've seen it happen to other cops. Also, there's an issue where if you try and search a vehicle with unprocessed drugs, if it doesn't have any processed drugs and just unprocessed drugs, it won't find it. If they have processed drugs, you'll take it all. But for some reason, I don't know why it does that. However, if you guys saw Poseidon's Trello, both of those bugs are
on there. Yeah.
Yeah, so he plans on fixing them, hopefully. I don't know, the whole gun thing for cop, I mean, that not necessarily like the biggest problem for me. I almost never have people get there quick enough to pick it up, but the biggest problem involved with that is what was happened to, like, I know there was a cop that he had it stolen from him, so he bought a new one, and then every time he died, he would have to buy a new one, so he just couldn't play cop. So I guess if that's what's happening, then yeah, it would be pretty unplayable if you had to buy your gun every respawn, because that would not.
Because then, yeah, it's what, 150,000 for an MX.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make you guys a deal, okay? You stop spamming. Bring Snake to the cast. At the end, we'll bring him on. He can say whatever plethora of shit he wants to say, and we'll go from there, okay? Because I don't know what Snake could honestly say on the cast right now. I don't know. I mean, you can say I'm back, I'm unbanned. If you want to tell us why you're unbanned, that's fine. But let's do it at the end. Like, you don't really have any experience right now of what's been happening on the server, in my opinion. So you can't really input that much on everything. I mean, obviously, if it's like ideas and stuff, you could. But to the point right now, it's like we'll bring you on the end, okay? I'll give you the link at the end. You can come on, and we'll go from there. Boo Boo will not come on the cast. I will tell you that right now. But Snake, I'll let you on at the end. You guys have any inputs though? Anything with the new update though? Like anything like you really were liking that made the game better? I haven't been playing a lot, so it's kind of hard for me. Like I know what's on the servers, but I haven't been playing a lot, so I don't really know how it's affecting the game.
So Medic posted in chat about he doesn't like the escorting and ticketing system. I disagree with him. I think the ticketing system now is actually a lot better because now you actually have more incentive to RP instead. Your incentive is to get someone to pay their ticket or lower their ticket even, especially if you're like a corporal or higher. In my opinion, I think patrol officers should be able to give discount tickets, especially now. Because with jail only giving 20% of the ticket and taking it from the player, I think that's fair. Because the player has to spend time in jail, you still get money, and the player loses that money. If it was 50% of the bounty, that would be too OP. The player would lose too much money if they went to jail and lost 50% of their bounty. That's ridiculous. I think the ticket system works out that way because even if you give someone a half ticket, if you RP a half ticket for someone and they agree, that's still better than sending them to jail as far as money is concerned. I think once they fix the bugs, COP will be very playable and will be much more in line with making money like in a better, more regular way. I think civs still make more money at the end of the day, which is good in my opinion. That's how it should be. But
I think more people are playing for the RP aspect now though than the whole making money part of it. I think the only thing I don't agree with though is like even if you RP with some cops, although they'll RP back with you, the end game is still usually the same. You getting ticketed, you getting searched, you getting et cetera, et cetera. Like regardless of what your story is and how like legit and sincere it might come across, they still completely avoid trying to RP the end game, and they kind of just focus on, okay, well that was fun. Now let me just go through and process you like I'm supposed to. So
that depends on the cop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the cop. So I think more people that are playing cop now, though, do tend to RP a bit more because they know it's not the money-making route like it used to be, which is a good thing. I have a feeling with you going through and kicking a lot of people, you're going to, in the next couple of weeks, I think you're going to go through and kick a fuck ton of cops because no one's going to really want to play for that reason. I think a lot of people joined on for the aspect of making money. So chat's bringing up the topic of PDWs. Are they the new Raheem? Discuss. I haven't used the PDW a lot. I haven't been killed by him. But what people don't realize, I think, too, though, is before everyone usually had body armor all the time. And so if you get shot by a PDW or a Rook, or really just anything, you usually die pretty quickly now because you have no armor. I haven't seen it against someone that is fully armored, but, you guys had to let us know what it's like for you. Has any of you guys actually... I mean, Moob would probably be the one that would touch the PDW more, with you guys going around killing people, but...
I will admit, I seen somebody taking the war zone of our cartels yesterday, and we flew down there. we spotted what we thought was one guy, and we went to land. It was a meth cartel actually, and we went to land on the other side of the ruins. And I hopped out of the chopper, and before I'd even finished the animation for the chopper, I just got absolutely destroyed by some guy who was hiding from about 150 meters away with a PDW, and I even had my vest on. And then there was another one at Sophia Rebel. McDilly, you were there for whatever. Yeah, we got out of our chopper, and I just start taking damage. We're going to log out. I just start taking damage, and because the chopper's still spinning, I can't even hear the PDW. I'm just taking damage from somewhere, and I flop over dead. Which as well, at that point, I did have a Titan on my back, and the guy ran up to it, scroll wheeled it, and fucking deleted my Titan.
Is it so? Do PDWs seem like they're stronger, or is it just people are just better
seems
with them
slightly
now?
Stronger, but it was always incredibly accurate. But now it's just, I think it's coming more into play because nobody's got the money yet for except the big groups. Nobody's got the money for those type of heavy weapons yet. So a lot of people you're seeing are actually going down to the war zone or are doing runs with PDWs. So I think it's just more that they're starting to come out more than they used to.
I think I think right now PDWs are more in use currently because of the money situation, but also, yeah, I mean, I use a PDW sometimes when I play King of the Hill just to be like Quan, and to be honest, I understand why he uses it, especially if you're playing like if you're playing close quarters, dude. That gun will rip anybody. Doesn't matter if they have a Mark 18 or not. You'll kill them so fast they won't know what happened. Like, no recoil either, so you can literally full auto people like 200 meters away. It's pretty good.
It's like the what is it? The Vermin. I want if you guys everyone says it's so good right now, like with the PDW. I wonder what's better then. Is the Vermin gonna gun the PDW, or what the deal's with that? You think it will?
The Vermin is 100% better than the PDW. It shoots a more damaging round, and it's the same as PDW. If you use it without a scope, it goes straight, and it
if it doesn't have a scope, it goes straight.
Yeah, if you don't have a scope on the Vermin, it goes straight, and it pretty much two shots people.
Yeah, that was my problem with it before. Is I always used a scope on it, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it has like no recoil, and it goes so far." It's like, yo, this thing is missing no tomorrow, man. I can't snipe people with this thing. So you're saying no scope with it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I promise you. You put no scope on that, you can full auto people, and all you have to do, seriously. And when I play King of the Hill on this infantry server that I play on, all I do is run around with a Vermin. I'll see someone 200 meters away. I won't even I'll just guess how high I have to aim, and then I'll just wave the iron sight in their general direction, and they'll die. It's not even a challenge.
I don't know. Most of chat's basically saying PDW is better, and I haven't touched them. Since the wipe. I don't know what's changed with them. It's possible that something gets tweaked with them or something like that, or everyone's just using them now because they are so cheap. And like you said, stealth. No one wants to spend the 120K to actually get an MK. They'd rather just use the cheap ass. I think it's like $8,000 for me for a PDW, so it makes sense. We're gonna talk about a lot of R&R topics tonight, just so you guys know. Not because that's we just want to focus on that, mainly because a lot of the stuff that we came up with in the pre-show was basically R&R based. As you can see below right now, we have medic respawning, Titan rules, R&R denying service, hostage situations, etc., etc. Do you guys want to touch on combat logging next, Titan rules? What do you guys want to switch to? What are you guys feeling?
They're talking about the taser nerf in chat. I haven't been able to play a whole lot of COP, so maybe I just haven't noticed it enough. But to be honest, I haven't really noticed that big a difference. What about you guys?
I've noticed it'll take 3 shots from an MX average to down somebody now.
Okay, so I don't understand why people are complaining about that, because before it took 1 or 2 shots for the taser. Taser was definitely hitting people and one-shotting them if they didn't hit the vest. So if it takes a couple shots now, it's doing the same damage as the normal bullet. I don't see the problem.
It sounds like I think it's cops bitching about the taser being nerfed, not the civilians being bitching about it. If anyone even looks at any of my history on Olympus, you'll know that I'm probably the biggest advocate for bitching about tasers being fucking retardedly OP. And that's because everyone's like, oh, if it hits you in the vest, it's 2 shots. It's like, nah, dude. You could shoot me in my fucking toe and I'll be done for. There's no getting around this for me. I'm always getting one-shotted. If they nerfed it to the point where it's going to actually be realistic, where you have to hit him a couple times, I'm fucking all in favor for that. I don't care if I'm playing on COP or if I'm the Civ in the situation. it needs to be realistic. If someone runs up to me and has an MK18 and they clearly have the first shot on me and they hit me with the first bullet and I'm able to turn and just spray them down, that's a little retarded. Like, I don't think I should be able to do that. I clearly need to be dead in that situation. So
Let's
It's better for all around everybody. It's just cops bitching saying it's not OP like they want it to be.
well, let's bring in a perspective as well. Like, think about where you have a situation. You know how you're playing on Civ, you get into a fight with someone with a Katiba. A lot of times you'll get like grazed, you'll get damaged and hurt before you die or something like that. You know, people that don't follow their shots up right off the bat. Well, usually when you fight MXs, you just insta get tased every time.
So, Virus's argument for it is, what did you say, Virus? Point blank, someone with no vest in the chest and not tasing, that is not realistic. The point is everyone calls them tasers, but I think the idea behind them is rubber bullets. Obviously, rubber bullets would knock a motherfucker down. But I don't know if Poseidon's able to code it where over, range something is weaker. Like, maybe he can, but I'm not experienced with anything regarding armor coding. That's something, you'd have to ask him. Post it on the forums, bring it up, and I know he reads a lot of the shit. I'm sure he'll read it from you, Virus, so I would post that. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if he could fix that. Point blank, I can understand if they have no armor or anything. It makes total sense to me, so I agree on that point, though. It's just always the long-range shots that make no sense. Who is it?
Kind of going off of what you were saying, like tasers, like in real life, like they're like the little gun. Like if you play Counter-Strike, it's like the Zeus. It shoots the little close-range things that electrocutes people and stuns them. But for armor, it's more of like the rubber bullet type thing. Like in real life, I think it's like a beanbag shotgun or something. It's more of like an incapacitating type of thing. So it's not like it's supposed to be a one-shot thing. It's supposed to be something that like takes a round or two, depending on like if you're dealing against a toughened criminal, they'll take more of it, as opposed to some guy who's robbing his gas station for the first time, which obviously you can't really replicate in armor. But assuming that in armor you're going against rebels that have good gear and stuff, they're going to be able to take a hit or two. So it shouldn't really be like a one-shot type of deal.
Yeah, I agree. I can't remember who linked the PDW shot here. Amish did. So I'm gonna link it to you guys. You guys can look at it. I'm gonna watch it on the stream. 700 meter PDW shot, he says. So if it's a headshot, I can understand it. I think a little bit maybe, but there's it for you guys if you want to look at it. Chat, I'll paste it back to you guys too in case you guys didn't catch it. We'll watch it here real quick on the stream.
Yeah, I just watched it, and it's a pretty epic shot. Not gonna lie, but yeah. I'm still gonna say, could have done it better with a vermin. Could have done it better with a vermin. Oh my god!
And it was Ebb too. What the fuck?
Oh.
Yeah, that was a beast of a shot. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty 11 out of 10. Would watch 10 times.
I've never hit a 700 shot with any gun. I just know that how armor usually works is the fact that if you hit shot somebody, generally it's going to be a one-shot kill. PDW, that's kind of a little unrealistic, but it was a great shot. Don't get me wrong, that was a crazy ass shot. I'm not going to lie, but that's a little too. I don't want to call it OP because it's like you have to be really good to actually hit that shot unless someone's like standing still or whatnot, but.
I think it was probably Zekro was probably hurt. I doubt if Zekro was on 100 HP. He didn't put enough bullets at him at that range. The PDW does such shit damage from 700 meters away. He had to have got him in the head. Zekro must have also been hurt or both. Because if you see, he definitely moves the gun from the right to the left. Not all of those bullets hit him. Only a couple of those bullets hit him, and he must have been hurt. Headshot.
Either way, that's the fact that it's keeping any kind of damage over that range, 700 meters, it shouldn't be doing. So I definitely would go with you that it's being kind of OP at this point. He said he was hurt because I hit him more than once. I'm not downplaying a 700 meter shot. It's just the fact that it was an excellent shot, 100%. Not downing the shot at all. It's just the fact that the gun itself was able to do that is kind of retarded. If it was like a MK18, it would have been fine too. I think the shot is still amazing regardless of the gun, but the fact that the gun is able to actually do that doesn't make any sense for it. So,
it's because the PW 9mm rounds, which it's essentially shooting a pistol round, which shouldn't really be effective over like 200 meters.
Exactly. Yeah. Either way, it was an excellent shot. I give you that. So, good for you on that one. What I want to talk about though is definitely the whole combat logging thing with Falcon. You can obviously explain it better why you got banned. Disclaimer though, we're not bitching that he got banned for this reason. It's just I want to talk about the, how it might have been avoided, and maybe if it's not even a thing to get banned for anymore. So why don't you explain what you did, Falcon?
All right, so like the situation was it was me. I think Warford, you were there, and we were playing with a couple other people. They were new people. We haven't really played with them before, but we said we're gonna go around with them. So we were playing with these people a little bit, and I was in an effort with one of the guys, and he was already getting on my nerves because he was driving around, he was crashing and stuff. And then we got into an engagement with some cops, and he was like trying to run them over and BDM them. So we knew these were bad guys from the start. So I was already annoyed with them to begin with, and then we get into a different engagement with it's like a three-way engagement. It was between us, the cops, and another group of rebels, and it hadn't happened to a group in one of the other in the second group of rebels. I'm not going to point out who it was or anything. So we're doing this, and we're having this engagement, and I'm asking the guy who's in my effort with, I'm like, where are the people at? I'm going to get them. And he gives that really bad call out. He stops us in the middle of an open field, and as soon as I get out, I go take cover. I'm instantly dead. So at this point, I'm really mad at the people I'm playing with. I'm really not enjoying Olympus right now. So I die. I say, fuck this. I alt F4. I close TeamSpeak, and I go do something else. And I come back on later tonight. I'm feeling a little bit better, and I have a combat logic there. And basically, that's what happened to me.
Okay, so Adam, we can talk about the whole server rules thing, but there's still other stuff that we're going to want to talk about. You remember that, as much as we do appreciate your guys' input on certain topics, there's still other things that a lot of us still want to talk about. Whether or not you enjoy the topic isn't really the point of the podcast. It's more so us talk about things that we either enjoy or don't agree with and stuff like that. So we'll talk about your topic. Just got to take a chill pill and just wait it out. So the point of the topic, though, for this one is the fact that you get killed. I don't even think it works anymore, but before, a couple months ago, if you died and you quickly Alt F forward or closed your game, like right away, you'd keep your gear because it wouldn't sink you. I don't think that works anymore. I don't know if it does. That's something an admin would have to tell us or not. But basically, getting banned for turning off your game before respawning is a little ridiculous. I think in a situation where if it's like a known person that plays, and I don't mean known like someone that just, I don't know how I want to put this, but someone that is clearly in a gang or whatever that you've seen before and isn't some like really random new person that just came on, you should probably message the person first and see how that goes before just straight up banning someone for combat logging. I don't think that reason to combat log someone is a little ridiculous. So it didn't have to be quickly. You could do it anytime before hitting respawn. Yeah, see, I don't think that works anymore then. If you're saying you could do it at any point, I don't think that works anymore. Virus is a perma. I just don't think that you should get banned for something like that. If it doesn't work anymore, there's no real point. If you don't need to wait to respawn or anything like that. If you just want to close your game and be done with it. So that was just basically the topic. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think you should get opinions, thoughts, comments?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it works if you come back with your gear or if it does anything. It really just I feel like I'm speaking from a position of ignorance. I mean,
so let's say you don't keep your gear, right? Like you would start as a fresh spawn regardless. Would it matter still?
If you spawned as a fresh spawn regardless, if that was a situation where when you died, even if you logged out after you died, you spawned as a fresh spawn no matter what, then I would not see the point in banning someone for that, since it doesn't harm anyone and it doesn't benefit anyone. Excuse me. Since it doesn't, I don't really see the harm in it. If something were to happen where you were able to keep your stuff or whatever, then obviously, yeah.
So Virus says 3 hours ago, same thing Falcon was banned for, but mine was because I accidentally requested a medic and didn't want to wait 7 minutes to respawn. So that's the thing. Like I said, I really wish we had Ace come on. I asked him to come on tonight, but he had to get up early, so he wasn't able to come on. It helps so much for things like this where we could get the staff's opinion on whether or not it's still a thing, or if it's some staff weren't aware that it's not a thing anymore. That would definitely help. Virus gets a 3-day for total BS. So like I think a lot of people don't agree with the whole thing. But if it does, if there's even a chance that you could get your gear back from it, I can understand banning people for it because they will try to do it every single time then. But if it doesn't work anymore, I think they should really consider avoiding that total. So Gary told me you can't keep your gear anymore.
Yeah, that was like one of the reasons like I decided to just like alt F4 at the time, because like there's been a lot of times where you're playing, it's been a long day, and you don't really want to hit escape and then wait 10 seconds to hit abort and then hit disconnect for 40 different menus, and then exit out the game. So you just hit escape and alt F4, everything's done with. And yeah, I've alt F4 a lot of times after I've died, and it's never kept my gear before. I've heard of cases where people have kept their gear, but from like my standpoint, I thought that a lot of things were put in place to stop that from happening, and it's never happened to me before. So that was like kind of like what my viewpoint was of it, where I wouldn't get it back anyway. So I'm just gonna take the quick exit instead of waiting a minute to respawn, 10 seconds to escape, and then clicking another 4 buttons to be able to leave the game.
I will say that let's humor Virus's situation that he seemingly was banned because he combat logged or he disconnected from the game after waiting about a minute and 30 seconds because he accidentally pressed request medic. Well, and I understand it was an accident, but let's think about a situation where you don't know what's going on. You're the admin, okay, and you look at a situation. As far as whether or not the medic was actually close to Virus, I'm sure he wasn't. He was only there for a minute and 30 seconds. Medics usually take like average time to get somewhere. It's like 3 to 7 minutes, but let's just think about a situation. If you have someone who's dead, and let's say they push request medic by accident, well, you don't know that as an admin, but then the medics come up and they get close to you. You notice the medics are coming to you or whatever, and then you log out because you don't want to get revived next to the cops or next to the civs. That would be combat logging, in my opinion.
Okay,
now
so
obviously,
finish.
What?
I'm sorry, there was a delay. Finish what you were saying.
Oh, I was saying, yeah, Virus's situation just seems like just a plain old accident that it didn't mean to do that, but
Okay, so yeah, we were gonna talk about the whole respawn timer night anyway, so it's good that we can transition into this easily. Virus, you brought up the point of being able to cancel your respawn or your request to get revived by medic. The problem with that is, what would be the point of even raising the timer at all? You know what I mean? Like if the whole point of respawning, changing the timer to 7 minutes was the fact that people would request a medic, and then after the medic already left, they would just respawn. Being able to cancel it is going to have that same problem. I like that there is a timer, but I don't think there's a way out of it. It's either you need to, I don't know. Maybe they just need to fix the issue with getting, if it's not possible to get it anymore. I asked Poseidon just now on Steam if it's possible to get your stuff back doing it, Alt F4ing after you die, and he said it's not likely, and he said, yes, Virus, your ban was stupid, because he doesn't even know who did it. So if there's a way to avoid that, it'd be good. If he 100% knows for a fact that you're not going to get your gear back if you Alt F4 after before you respawn, and you don't get banned for it, that's like really the only way you're going to get out of that respawn timer thing. So there's just not much you can do with it. I don't agree you should get banned for it either, Virus. At least it wasn't a permaban though, right? I mean, that's a good thing. It was Hades. Yeah, you're not getting out of that then if it was Hades. Do you guys even have any ideas though for like what you could do to like? I don't want to say being able to cancel a respawn or cancel the medic timer thing because it's like you requested it. What are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean?
I think you should just honestly just not use have the enter button not do it. just pay attention where you click and then make it to where the enter button doesn't automatically.
Is it enter or is it spacebar?
Spacebar does it too.
Okay, so remove any ways to do it other than just clicking on it.
Maybe like if you hit request medic, like a window would pop up that says, "Are you sure you want to request a medic?" Even just something as simple as that might help with the accidental requests.
So, yeah, there's literally nothing worse than dying during the middle of the day whenever there's like 30, 40 people on the server and there's no medics. You accidentally request medic and like Virus's ban, he left after 1 minute and 30 seconds of that. And if you accidentally request, you've got to sit there, basically, and sit there for the 7 minutes, or 7 minutes and 30 seconds, or whatever it is, and wait it out. Otherwise, you're at risk of a combat logging ban.
Yeah. Those kind of stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
There's definitely on to it. Or maybe an "Are you sure" button. How about that? How about we go Windows Vista on it? You request medic, "Are you sure?" and then you press yes.
Can that be coded in Arma or into like the server code though? Could he do that? You think?
I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas, man. That's all I'm saying.
Even make it that you have to press it twice or something.
Fair enough, yeah. Something so it's not just like a one press on your enter key on accident and it's going to make sure this is actually what you want to do.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was throwing out earlier. I don't know. I think it got lost in the background noise. A lot of people were talking at once.
I heard it.
But yeah, it's like I feel like it wouldn't be too hard to put in. Like if you if just something simple as like when someone sends you a gang request message, you get a little pop-up that says, "Do you want to join their gang?" and you hit yes or no. So you'd think it'd be like, are you sure you want to revive? Yes or no? Which, in theory, it shouldn't be too hard, but I know nothing.
It's
so.
Arma coding, and so it could be harder than we're expecting for sure.
Alright, I'm back. So, I'm going to read you guys what Poseidon said real quick, because he did say something when I was gone. He said, in the future, I'll try to add an invisible button that gets highlighted by default instead of the request being highlighted. And they said, if you want to do testing later, go screw around on the server and Alt F4 and try to glitch your gear, because I've made it pretty good to where you likely won't get your gear back. The longer the server's been up and the more players online, the more likely it'll work due to low server performance. I don't know what you guys were talking about before, though. I hope you're talking about the same thing.
Yeah, we're just talking about medics and if it's possible to code in the "Are you sure" button.
Now, I want to talk about medics and some of the cool things. This update was really awesome as far as medics go, and as far as civs go, because of the fact that you keep all your gear when you get revived by a medic. Okay, so I have probably died, if you want to consider how many times I've been revived. Okay, I've been revived a few times, but I've only actually died and not been revived, and respawned one time.
Mm-hmm.
Every other time I've been revived. And what we'll end up doing is, if we die in a red zone, we'll literally go and kidnap a medic just to have him revive us in the red zone, especially in the war zone. Because, it's just way better than buying a new loadout. And that is awesome, because the medics get to come out and play. We get to roleplay a hostage situation. The cops might get involved because it's that kind of a situation. It brings out a whole lot of cool stuff. So what ended up happening, I'll give you an example of something that ended up happening. It was me and one other guy. We went, it was me and two other people. We went up to this DP9 to fight some guys from KI. Well, this fight was extremely back and forth. We kept both sides kept sustaining casualties, and there was two medics on, and they were just running around reviving everybody. So we just kept getting revived with our guns and shit. So we just kept fighting each other, dying and just reviving. And since there was two medics, one of the guys would tell a medic to don't revive, but the other medic would run around and revive somebody else, and then and then the guy that would tell one medic to stop would just get shot in the face. And so it was just crazy. Eventually, I think, and it finally stopped. I killed somebody and stole their zip ties, and we were able to take the medics hostage and said, okay, fine, you guys got to stop. And so that eventually stopped it. But it was awesome because the medics must have been having fun. Everybody was having. I think it was really funny. I'm pretty sure I killed one person 3 times in the whole fight. 3 times in the same fight. It was so it's pretty interesting. So there's definitely a lot more medics being involved in stuff. Medics get to take hostage a lot more. There's a lot more roleplay going on there, I think. And also, most of the revives aren't just sitting in Kabbalah. Before, it was you had RDM or mostly VDM in Kabbalah, and then you also had the RDM. Well, the gun stores moved out. VDM is disabled, so now you get revive requests all over the map. So playing medic isn't just a Kabbalah simulator.
They feel more
anymore.
useful now, right? Like the fact that you get your gun back, it's a lot more useful that way.
Yeah.
You feel a lot more comfortable going and spending the 60K because like on a weapon, because now it's like, okay, well, if I do die, there's actually I can get revived if I need to, even if that means a friend taking a medic hostage and getting me in a red zone, it could still work. Adam brought up a topic that I don't think we ever discussed, and he's talking about using lethals on first wave of either FedRob or a jailbreak. My short-term answer would be yes, I definitely agree with that, because it's like the point of a jailbreak and everything, if it was realistic enough, right, it's going to be people are getting out of jail that should not be getting out of jail, hardcore criminals that shouldn't be getting out, and then the fact with the Fed of, someone robbing basically that, he called it a country, that, that place is gold, basically, that's supposed to be the whole island's, money supply, basically. I agree with that. I definitely would, I'd be all for it, even if I was on Civ, I'd hope that the cops would use lethals first wave. It gives lethals more of a purpose too, because usually by the time you're using lethals, it's either because you're getting shit on so bad, or it's just like finally we've got that their way, we can finally leave lethals, so it doesn't really work. So looking to donate to McDilly for a maid. There you go, McDilly. You can get a maid now.
Awesome.
Major's gonna get you a maid. So what do you think? I mean, you're really cop based, McDilly. Lethals first wave. What do you think?
I'm gonna say I would have an alternative. Instead of Lethal's first Fed cheats are banned. Instead of Lethal's first wave, I would say take the timer up for Fed in prison to like 15 minutes. We discussed this before. Lethal's first wave. See, here's the thing. Like, it's more realistic, but it's also more realistic that cops don't use tasers to retaliate to anyone that's shooting at them. I don't know. Like, I like the idea personally of being able to take people and process them. I almost will never use lethals unless I just need to size a group down, and after I've tried. Definitely, like, I know it's like third wave for most people, but for me it usually
like
starts
fifth
happening
or
on like
sixth.
fifth wave when I start getting sick of it. Once I start getting sick of it on like the fifth wave or so, I might kill like one or two guys just to shut down an angle, and then I'll switch right back to tasers and get everybody else. Like, I always try to get people in because it just, it makes more sense as a cop to do it, but B, like, it pisses them off. Like, I think half the reason of playing cop is like having a victory over someone, they're mad, and so when you're on lethal waves, I have had so many times where I'm on lethal waves, I'll lethal like one or two guys, and I'll tase and restrain the rest of them. They'll be like, "Why didn't you lethal me?" It's like, because I didn't have to. Like, gosh, without having to. Like, I think it's the most hilarious shit to me.
Yeah, I like waiting, and like I don't want to lethal people unless I have to. When it was like 16 versus 4, right, and it's like me and like one PO and then two deputies, it's like I'm gonna need to use lethals because there's no way we're getting into a Fed rob because of it. And I think that lethals do have a purpose, but I still think people should be focusing more on trying to actually bring someone in versus just killing them, because that's usually their intention to this point. You know what I mean, like if I get killed in a Fed rob because I get lethaled, I could just wait there until it's over and done with, like at the the whole medic screen. Just wait there, keep requesting medic until it's over, and then just get revived, and there goes my bounty, and then I also get to keep my weapon. I think people use it as a way to get rid of their bounty, and it's a bad way to go about it. I don't remember. Cops get no money, right, if they lethal someone?
I think now in the
25.
Yeah, I think in the update now they get a maximum of 25k.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, 25k. But players don't get charged anything, right, when they get lethaled?
I don't think so. Yeah, but it's interesting now because if you get lethaled, you can just get a medic to revive you, and you're not wanted anymore. So like, pretty interesting.
I got
you keep your stuff now, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just sit there and wait until the cops leave an area and then request medic.
Exactly. So you keep your stuff, and you also lose that big ass bounty that Mito had. And we're graced by Thy Poseidon. So if you guys have any questions for him, if he's willing to answer him, you can type him in chat, I guess, and if he's willing to. So first wave, I think that people will like to use him first wave, but I'm one of the people that advocates don't use it first wave, or use it as soon as possible. More so try to bring people in and actually have that roleplay aspect of it, especially now since you're not going to really make money on cop. So it's an interesting thing.
So I want to talk about Titans, and I'd like Mr. Moob to start out with that. I don't know about server 1, but I know on server 2 Moob fired the first one.
Yeah. Pretty much, essentially, the first day, the whole point of my grinding was to acquire myself a Titan. Whenever I first started playing, Titans were still in, but I never really got around to using them. And you've used them on King of the Hill or whatever if you play any of those servers. But my first day of grinding pretty much was spent saving up for a nice Titan, on which we were taking our cartels, and you see Kavala Investments is taking your meth cartel, and it was, I believe, Mr. K.I. Rusted Corpse and K.I. Divine who lifted up in their Hummingbird and rather quickly bit the dust. The first one disabled, and they were traveling pretty quickly, so they immediately hit the side of a hill and blew up. So I'm really kind of enjoying them so far, and I've seen it has a positive effect because it's not OP anymore. I do remember being Titan RDM'd to shit, having random Titans launched at your choppers, and whereas now there's a message saying who launched your Titan at what. Which I don't believe it gives you a message though whenever you free fired at something.
It doesn't.
I talked to Grandma Gary, and I was wondering, would the Titan, if you free fire it at somebody, he says it essentially fires a script, which is coded for the vehicles. In terms of, if you shoot a chopper, it's coded to do like 60%, 67% damage or something like that. And my question would be, is if you fire Titan at somebody, like a player, is the radius, or how much damage will it do versus a player who's either unarmed or in some form of ground vehicle? But so far they've brought in a great element, minus the countless messages of bluffing I've got, which is land or be tightened, followed by nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know, they've been pretty good though. It's kept things interesting in the Warzone anyway. They've balanced it pretty well that you now need two Titan rockets to at least take down the likes of an Orca or a Mohawk, rather than just one shot to get down. First one I think cripples it a little bit. Second one will take you down no matter what.
Yeah.
It does carry that element of risk of you carrying. I know a Titan for me is 320k, and each rocket's 150k. And it really does bring in that element of the medic. If I get killed, kidnap that medic and get them down to me.
Revive my ass. So you're pretty much pro Titan at this point now. Like before, I hated those damn things, only because, like I said, you didn't know who shot you. So the only thing I noticed with them before is when we had them on the dev server right before the patch went out. Sometimes I'd shoot and it wouldn't actually relay a message that I shot one. So I don't know if that's been fixed now, or like it did it sometimes, but it didn't do it all the time. But Poseidon said when you hit a vehicle, the vehicle itself has an event handler on it that checks the projectile and does stuff if it's a Titan, so it won't do anything to a player. It reduces fuel to around 20% and usually creates a severe fuel leak, forcing people to land or get wrecked within a minute. So, and
essentially,
if you shoot a
fire
person,
Titan, yeah, it's gonna be a waste.
Yeah, don't shoot people.
I'm kind of disappointed in that. I did want to sit on a hill 2 kilometers away in the cartel island and just fire a rocket into the like the math cartel or something and see what sort of chaos it would rig. But I do remember on the dev server just before the update, I believe it was one of the guys in my gang was actually running down the main road to Cavallo.
It does kill players.
Poseidon popped out of nowhere and tightened the shit out of him for no reason whatsoever, but it did blow him away. I'm just wondering why they would change that. Or I'm assuming somebody said it does kill players.
Yeah, he corrected himself, or I read it like I'm retarded or something. He said, no, it does kill players, it won't show a message, or reduce damage, I meant. Okay, well, so it does kill people then, so you're good on that front.
I know that I was talking to Hammer Moose, and he said that his Ghost Hawk has been tightened 5 times, but he was able to save it every time. He said that most of the time what happens is he gets hit with a Titan, and his Ghost Hawk will be like orange, like a bunch of shit will be orange on it, but it won't it won't make the Ghost Hawk shake, and it'll lose a lot of its fuel. The fuel leaks, but it doesn't leak that fast. I think probably for the Ghost Hawk it's because the Ghost Hawk has a shitload of fuel. But like he said, every time he was able to go land it and stuff, So I'm okay with that because the way that I think about it is the Titan, and of course the Sergeant's okay with that. He owns the Ghost Hawk, but no, I think from a Civ standpoint, the Titan gets that Ghost Hawk off your ass, and you essentially force it to land very soon. So it's not going to stick around to get hit by a second Titan if it can avoid it, right? Because otherwise the second Titan's going to fuck it up. Obviously it's going to go land somewhere. So you either get him to land, and if you get him to land in a war zone, this is where the controversial part comes to play. So if you lure a Ghost Hawk into a war zone and then you tighten it and it lands, you kill the cops can't come back. There's no wave roll to a war zone, no nothing. So you have a Ghost Hawk there if they land it and survive. And that's a free Ghost Hawk right there. But that said, like, you get a Ghost Hawk off your ass for at least a period of time to go hide, go do what you got to do, get away, whatever it is. So I think it works well. And I saw Fat Clemenza was posting Police APD Titans. Here's the way I think about it.
I was just thinking about this too.
I think Civs have the Titan, okay? They get to shoot the helicopters out of the sky. The Ghost Hawk can now fire upon ground units ever since the APD handbook update. So the Ghost Hawk can destroy and disable ground vehicles from the air. So I feel like they have that little balance. The Titan can be a deterrent to the Ghost Hawk, but it's not like the end-all be-all of a Ghost Hawk, which is good. It shouldn't just shoot one completely down and destroy it. Because if it was that easy, then it wouldn't really be relative to the challenge of shooting at stuff with a Ghost Hawk as well. I think it's probably easier to shoot down a Ghost Hawk with a 50, depending on whether or not the Ghost Hawk knows that the 50 is there or not.
How many sergeants are there?
5.
Okay, so your idea behind it is that cops shouldn't have Titans because Civs get Titans to shoot down helicopters, and sergeants are there to shoot the ground vehicles and the helicopters down, right? That's kind of like the mentality of it. That's why sergeants are there for. Yeah,
but if you had cop Titans, I mean, who do you think would have them?
Sergeants and higher.
No, that would just be stupid too. Then that's like you're limiting it to 5 people being able to shoot helicopters down. So now what you need to rely on is that there's one sergeant on every single time you play. Because if people just sit there and troll the shit out of you with their helicopters, you're never gonna get it down most of the time. The fact of the matter is, like, I talked to Hayes about it before. Well, I didn't really talk about it, but I posted it before. There used to be people that would fly over Kovala, and they would engage with the cops, and they would just keep shooting at you, flying back and forth, but you would never be able to switch to lethals because technically you're not dying. You have nothing. You can't take that helicopter out in this situation without having a sergeant online to go after him. So you're saying 5 people have the chance to take down helicopters, but, let's say 80 fucking civs on a server have the chance to take down every single cop helicopter that ever flies by. I don't know if the Titan is a solution to that, but I think that there needs to be a way for cops to take out helicopters without having to have a sergeant online all the time. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I don't know how POs even do it, but I know as a corporal in our Hummingbirds, when we have to engage on helicopters, you're free to go, more or less.
Yeah, if anything bigger than a Hummingbird, you're not going to catch, right? It's going to be gone. And then having those Hummingbird battles, it doesn't work out that well. Unless you're a god. Me and Falcon were flying around, we were playing on COP, and some dude literally shot our helicopter out with 3 bullets in the back of the engine like it was nothing. Like, they were flying behind us and they just took us the fuck out. So I don't know how he did it, but...
it was literally the most impossible thing ever. Like, we're flying, and it's just boom, 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 and Walker's like, oh, the engine's dead, and we crash into the water.
Yeah, so literally you blink and you're done.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, and then I thought the people in the helicopter died, and apparently they didn't. So they bitched at me for letting them die. It's like, dude, I didn't even know you were in the fucking helicopter. Like, no wonder you fucking died. So the point is, though, it's just like, it's impossible to take out the helicopters unless you have a sergeant on. If they're going to do promotions and they get more on, it seems like we have them on most of the time. I might not feel the same way, but current state, maybe cost of a guided Titan that doesn't lock on, like the 2 missiles in Battlefield, which is the anti-tank Titan.
I see where you're coming from. It definitely is something worth thinking about, I guess. Maybe a corporal and higher type of thing. But that's definitely up in the air for debate, I think. What do you guys think about the escort mechanic, though? That's my new thing.
Oh my god, that is
Oh, boy.
super hard.
So here's
super
how
hard to work with.
here's how I would change it. So right now you drag people constantly, right? I think the idea behind it should be if the person hasn't been healed by the APD yet, right? So they're restrained, but they still have their 10 health from getting tasered. You should have to heal that person before you can escort them the normal way, you know, like how you could just like drag them around, whatever. But if they're not healed, then you should have to drag that bitch around because they're injured. They're not going to be standing straight up like they're perfectly fine. They're actually going to be hurt. If I was down to quote unquote 10 health in real life, I mean, it sounds retarded, but I wouldn't be standing there straight up with my hands behind my back just letting it be. I'd probably be on the ground. So if you have to escort the person when they have that low amount of health and drag them around like that, that might make sense compared to where if they're fully healed, you can just take them where you want to do them. Because
Do you guys know that if you are escorting someone and you press X, even though the animation is bugged, you actually do a fireman's carry and you carry them quite a bit faster and you can move forward?
Yeah. Poseidon just said the one thing that we've all been wanting to hear forever, that the escort mechanic will be revised.
I don't know, guys. I like it, to be honest. Once you do the fireman's carry thing and you start doing that, like, in my opinion, I feel like it ain't that bad. I think the animation needs to be synced up so it actually looks like a fireman's carry, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I think it served its purpose. You go slow. The guy that's being escorted is invulnerable. I don't know. I didn't see a big issue with it, to be honest.
I feel like in theory it seems like a good idea. Like, oh, it's cool. We're going to drag these guys around. We're going to have this cool animation. But like once we put it in the game, it's just really not practical. Because like once you down a couple people in this big firefight, and you want to put a couple people in your car just to get them out of the way, so like their gang members won't shoot them to kill them to get them out of the ticket. Then you're they're stuck, and it takes you 5 minutes to go 100 meters back to your car, and then you're basically just a sitting duck because you're sitting there squatting over, going backwards.
Okay, so go get your car. Like, that's the point of it. Bring your car to closer to them instead of like having to run them across the field. You wouldn't be. I don't like. Okay, so like. Well, you should be able to. You should have repair kits. Saying like Big Bad Adam posted in the chat, go back to the old way. I don't agree with that. The old way sucked. It was like jumped over walls carrying people. Like,
that shit was stupid, right? Like when you do that, like those big white walls, you just fly right over them, and you got this person hanging in front of you. It's like this is not logical at all.
And not only that, but you could carry fucking infinite amount of people as you wanted. So you could just carry like 10 guys on you, and then just jump over walls and sprint and shit across fields. Like, I don't know. That's pretty dumb, if you ask me. Like, I would rather have.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that the old way was like the best way, but I'm saying there's like a middle ground that needs to be found.
Yeah. Well, Poseidon just said he might make it to where it's just the carry them on your shoulders, like it. So if you try to escort someone, it just goes into the fireman's carry. That would be a good compromise, in my opinion.
Where do you see that? All I see is about Cheetos.
It was up a little bit farther. I haven't done this whole fireman carry yet, so I don't know about it. I just know that the current way is too slow. Like in certain situations, it makes total sense. However, when you're trying to get someone from your car to process them, it takes a lot longer because of that. Having to move them like that, you have to like pull up right where you're going to process them. You have to put them right outside your car. If you even want to drag them any feet, it takes a little bit of time. But the new way is an improvement. But the old way was just, like you said, was half-assed and didn't really work out that well. So, can you carry multiple people or drag multiple people with this new one?
No, I don't think so. But I think with the way he's talking about, where you can, the fireman's carry when you press X, dude, it's not nearly as bad because you can start walking forward and it's. I would say you probably move at like 50% speed, like compared to your normal trot. Like how without sprinting, like you move forward.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like fireman's carry is about half that speed, so it's not as slow as the drag, but it's quick enough to where like it's not like dreadful. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's a good middle ground to have it at, like he was like Simon was saying there.
Somehow to just test out, give it a go. It's just somehow have to test out. I don't really have an opinion on it because of that whole reason. Like I can't say, oh yeah, that's a better system. I've never actually done it. What do you? we actually took a long time to go through these topics today. Is there any like final topic you guys want to talk about? Like,
okay, let's just bring up what everybody's thinking about, okay? And you all know what's gonna happen here next week, okay? A fucking orca sling loading a fucking 50 cal. All right.
Oh lordy, I don't even want to see that happening.
Discuss.
Bring it on.
Somebody did say somewhere that was going to be against the rules, that if you were to be on the back of it and should.
That's what I said. I said it's probably going to be against the rules. That was just pure spitballing.
Well, I haven't seen a rule
no.
stating that you can do it.
It better not be against the rules. If you're able to spend the money on the Taru and the 50 and then buy
and
the
the
hook and sling,
$60,000 sling. Yeah.
you better be able to shoot off the back of that 50 cal and stuff. That would be amazing. I mean, that's just clever. Like, come on, and you know how hard it would probably be to shoot other things. Like, but it would be like that's like the Civs jerry rigging of a Ghost Hawk.
I think it'd be funny. I want to know how hard or how easy it is to shoot from it, though. I've never tested it. Have you guys fucked with it at all? Seeing how easy it is to shoot from?
I've done it.
On Wasteland.
I did it on the dev server, but we never actually had it like where we had like a target to aim at. We were just shooting for fun.
One Titan to a helicopter breaks a sling and drops the vehicle from the sky. Okay, so yeah, it's not even OP then, if that's what it does.
I want to know if you're in the 50 cal and you see the Titan missile coming towards you, can you shoot the missile out of the sky?
Well, technically they're gonna have to roleplay it. So if like you text Johnny and tell Johnny like that this helicopter's shooting at you, he can then Titan you and then rip 50 cal.
Design did it as well. It may seem like it might have been against the rules, but or somebody said that it might be against the rules. But I believe it was Poseidon who also said that, well, if you've got the time and the money to put into slinging a 50 cal about, that all it takes is one Titan if it disables it quick enough, and depending on who you've got as a pilot. If you've got a good enough pilot, you might be able to land it okay. But if you've got your engine shaking and your fuel leaking, are you going to be able to land that shit all cool and get out, repair, and do it again? Whenever you're so vulnerable up there, and what is essentially a bomb on the end of a sling.
But you wouldn't be able. I mean, once you got Titaned, you'd lose your 50. So there goes your whole plan, unless you have like a stockpile of 50s.
Or I don't know. A lot of the vehicles when they we did it before, me and Kratos, where we turned off the Ghost Hawk and we just let it do its thing and glide down. It didn't even blow up or anything like that. So I wonder what the height is for a 50 if you drop it. What's when it's gonna blow up and stuff? Because a lot of vehicles in Arma seem like they have really good damage resistance when being dropped from the sky. I don't know why, but
probably because that's not something that they were thinking was going to be done.
Who's going to be dropping vehicles? You know what I mean? So I think it'd be cool if with the fact that you can drop it with 150 or with one Titan. That's good. Someone brought the point of cops would need 50 or would need Titans then. So
I can see it now. Terran, Kavala, sling load, and then catapult fuel trucks into the city.
You probably wouldn't be able to do it simply because you can't do them in helicopters. I doubt they would let you drop vehicles on people, and I think they would.
No, not on people, but you fly towards Kavala, you say terror, and then you unhook your sling while you're flying forward towards Kavala. You drop the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool.
The bomb.
And then you have your other 5 gang members with suicide vests in fuel trucks that are spring loaded. You drop your fuel trucks like atom bombs all over Kavala, and once they land, everything sets off the suicide vests.
It blew up right when it fell. Yeah, the only thing I can... The theory itself is cool, but I know exactly what would happen. They'd say you couldn't do it because, 1, you're in the helicopter when you drop them, so you couldn't be a part of the terror. 2, you're intentionally blowing up a vehicle. And then 3, if that falls on some random-ass person and actually kills them, even though there's no VDM, man, you just VDM the fuck out of somebody, so...
But it would be so...
It would be...
Remember, VDM's disabled. They won't.
Has that been tested though? I don't think Poseidon goes in the dev server and drops cars on top of people.
Yeah, but me and MC, we run each other over sometimes.
I mean, it would all the time, just like the VDM mechanics. You're shooting a rubber band, but the suicide vest will kill you.
This just in, we need everyone to drop cars on people for science.
Yeah, just test it out. Everyone go on the dev server. Poseidon, spawn some cars in above the air, drop my people, and see what happens.
Randomly.
Just to see how it affects.
One thing that I thought about, which could work as a legitimate tactic, if you notice, things like go-karts and quads have no suspension limit, as in you could drop them or you could go over a hill and make a 200, 300 foot drop, and you know you're gonna hit the ground as long as you're not upside down or going in at any real drastic angle. You're gonna be okay. It's not gonna damage the vehicle. It doesn't make any noise. So could you, in theory, sling load a quad, stick 2 guys on it, you know, fly 1.5 kilometers above a red zone where nobody's going to hear you, where you know there's somebody processing something, and drop a go-kart on top of them from 2 kilometers up in the air. And like I said, it doesn't damage cars, pretty much unless it goes in at some terrible angle. Drop them in right on top, get off a go-kart, and there you go. You've got a SWAT team on the move, ready to go.
Yeah, that sounds fucking awesome. I would do that. That's a great idea. There's
Now I can just like go-karts running from 2 kilometers in the air on the red zone.
Just flying
Yeah,
into it.
These cars so
Just
silently.
Just imagine you're sitting there, you're picking like heroin, and then all of a sudden just like quad bike with 2 dudes lands in front of you. The wheels break, they get out, and they have rooks, and they just start shooting at you. Oh, it'd be the funniest shit you ever saw.
That would make a great screenshot.
Hands up,
Yeah.
and get go-karted.
Or
Hello.
go-kart fall from the sky at you.
Oh yeah, that's the RP for it.
Hands up or get go-karted. One final thing I'm just gonna ask before we end the stream here, because I do want to save stuff that we can talk about next week. That was our problem before, is like we ran out of content to talk about, and I don't want to have that happen this time too. Poseidon, I'll end it with: are you able to actually make it to where once you buy a sling, it stays on the vehicle until the vehicle is blown up or something? Because I think right now, you know, the second you put the vehicle away or the server stores it, you lose that sling, and you have to pay another $60,000 just to let your vehicle sling again. So, if that's possible to fix that, or have some kind of way where the server syncs the sling onto it, that would be a dandy system. So, final comments, concerns, questions, anything, guys, before we end the podcast? Nothing. We good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. I'm pretty sure Snake fucked off, so I don't think we're bringing him on here now. I'm pretty sure he fucked off.
I don't know. Last call, Snake. Where you at?
Yeah, if he's here, we'll bring him on. But I haven't seen him saying anything, so I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Yeah, I
It's
think
possible,
he
but
went to
not
bed.
likely gonna do that. Well, what the hell, man? I ain't got money to pay $60,000 every time. If you do it to the enemy's car, they're screwed. They're screwed that they have the ability to sling load a vehicle. Talk about how shitty the way you rank up is on cop. I don't mind the way you rank up. We talked about before about having a system where, you know, time played affected, you know, when you rank up and stuff. But there's a certain point, like after PO, you can't really do that. You know, you give, if you're basing people's ranks off of how long they play, it doesn't mean they know the fucking rules. You know.
We
Yeah,
have captains who don't know shit.
Yeah, it's like, all right, here's our deputy chief of police. He plays a shit ton, but he doesn't even remember the hostage rules. Like, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, as far as cops ranking up, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. RP, knowing the rules and stuff like that is probably the biggest factors. If you're very good at RP, and if you don't have, you know, we don't have issues with or complaints about you or stuff like that, usually it's pretty simple. But you have to stand out, you know, and not only that, but it takes leadership as well. So it's a multitude of things, and it's not always guaranteed. There's always going to be something where you have to, you know, be seen by the seniors, but that doesn't mean that you have to only play with, like, you. The thing is, people have this stigma where they say you have to play with seniors to get noticed. Well, it's like, the thing is, if we are curious about you, you know, as a senior, we'll come play with you. We'll come jump in your channel or something like that if we want to consider you, if we think you might be a good candidate or something. We hear about cops all the time, and we always have we have notes on a lot of cops. And yes, you're right, Adam. There is not enough seniors. That is currently being addressed. So it's just a process.
What you got to remember is, obviously, someone that plays with a higher up more is more than likely going to get ranked up faster than someone that doesn't play with them. And it's not because they might be better than that person. It's just because that senior knows how that person is. They know how they RP. They know they know if they know the rules or not. So there's a chance for them to get promoted a little bit faster than maybe someone who doesn't play with the senior. and I think that we might want to see them playing with more people than they are right now. But then there's also a problem that there isn't enough of them, like you said. So if you guys want to know who is who, obviously on screen right now is McDilly, Zombified Falcon, we got Moob with the no cam, and then we have Fluffy Wolf, and then me in the corner right here. So basically, though, we're going to end the stream with that, guys. Like I said, I want to have some topics to talk about next week. If you guys are interested in suggesting topics, simply post on the thread I'm posting in the chat right now. Post on there. Let us know if you have anything you want to talk about. We'll bring it up if it's a good topic. If it's not, I'll probably tell you in the thread that we're not going to talk about it. Other than that, though, I appreciate everyone that came on tonight. Poseidon coming in the chat, clearing up a few things for us. I see Ace popped back in,
Welcome,
or
Ace
popped
White.
in. So yeah.
Major Danger. I destroyed Major Danger on call the other
Just
day.
just another quick thing to add on. Just like let people know. I don't know if you have the link or not for like people to submit their media for Olympus Now.
Oh yeah. Let me get that real quick. So if you guys have content that you want to display via who was it that whoever submitted the 700-meter shot? I apologize for not remember who you were. Stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. We definitely want to have in the Olympus Now issue. We do them every Saturday night, usually, and upload them on Sundays. We're on week 3 this time, and it's going pretty strong. So if you have anything you want to submit, if I can find the goddamn section on here, you can submit it in the thread, and we'll take a look at it. If there's anything that we really like, we'll put it in there. We'll link your profile and stuff so everyone knows who it belongs to, and you guys can enjoy that great content. So. Like I said, I appreciate everyone coming on. Appreciate you guys coming out to the channel. Good amount of viewers this week, good conversation, and I had fun with it. So we'll be back again next week for sure, and we will see you guys then.
Bye.
Straight bye.
Oh,